Hi, this is John Kreider with Thor Motor Coach, and I'm here with J.R. Huff, who's one of our sales managers out in the field. J.R., great to have you here today.
Great to be here, John. Thank you.
Perfect. So we're going to talk about the Outlaw 29H. The 29H, our Class C version here, is the most affordable motorized toy hauler on the market. So, JR, give us a little insight about this little coach.
Well, you know, the great thing about this coach here, as you said, we've had the Outlaw product out now for several years, and we have finally reintroduced back into the market the most affordable Outlaw motorhome out there. This is something that appeals to a lot of different clientele and pretty much anybody on the market looking for something with a garage in the back.
Well, when I look at this motorhome, it looks very similar to other products that we build, and I know we have a great story when we talk about how the foundation of this motorhome comes together. So I think as we look at it, MoreRide, that's the name of the company we use to put the foundation on, correct?
Yes, it is. In fact, all of our motorhomes at Thor Motorhome were actually sent to MoreRide to have that chassis put on there, and I'll tell you what, those guys can probably explain a little bit better than I can. Why don't we go ahead and let them do it for us?
Absolutely. Let's go take a look.
At Thor Motor Coach, we build many of the world's most recognized brands of motorhomes. To make sure your new motorhome is the perfect fit for you and your family, our engineers work with MoreRide International, the leader in chassis modification, to design and construct the foundation for your motorhome. MoreRide provides the steel assembly that makes up the basement storage and support structure of the motorhome. Raw chassis come to us from leading chassis builders like Ford, Chevrolet, Freightliner, and Mercedes-Benz. Computer-aided design models allow Thor Motor Coach engineers to provide MoreRide all the information needed to make the perfect parts for each chassis. A specialized steel cutting and forming process is used for each individual part. The use of these metal forming machines help create consistency throughout the build. Many chassis need to be modified based on the floor plan of the motorhome. These chassis will be stretched to provide the optimum combination of storage and drivability. Steel C-channels are welded in place to provide strength and rigidity. The lengthening of the chassis requires a modified drive line. New drive shafts connect to the transmission and rear differential. Specialized machines are used to create the correct drive angles and balance the new drive shafts before being installed on the unit. Steel cross members make up the largest section of the structure, spanning horizontally from side to side over the main frame rails. These cross members support the floor of the coach while evenly spreading the weight of the coach for better stability while driving. With the newly formed structure in place, the chassis is brought in for painting to protect the raw steel from the elements. This special paint is formulated to help inhibit rust and corrosion. Special attention is spent to ensure only the steel structure is painted, leaving all of the automotive components with the standard coating provided by the chassis manufacturer. Even though you can't see what is beneath the beauty of the motorhome, you can be certain Thor Motor Coach and MoreRide International have created a strong foundation meant to stand the test of time.
You know, JR, that was a really impressive look at exactly how these things go together and the foundation, that we start the whole entire process on. So now that we know how it goes together and how well it's put together, let's talk about some of the things on the outside that are going to attract me to this motorhome.
Well, sure. There's a lot to talk about on this motorhome out here. Just starting with, I guess, what you see first and foremost is going to be the exterior of the coach.
Sure.
We do something a little bit different. It's called an HD Max. This gives you the appearance of a full body paint motorhome for a lot less of the cost. This is actually a color infused fiberglass that's the same color all the way through. So if it does get scratched, you can buff it out, do whatever you need to, and it's not going to show an odd color through there, so it's going to keep that appearance going for a long time.
Yeah, from what I understand, this is just like a boat hull, right?
Exactly.
You could actually go, if you get a little scratch in it, you can just put a little filler in it, you can buff it right back out, and it has the same color, so it's
exactly
going to be good looking years from now too.
Yes, and if you maintain it just like you would any other vehicle out there, wash it, do a light wax on it a couple times a year, it'll keep its nice glossy finish to it and keep that great appearance for quite a while.
All right, so we're here in the campground area, and of course, if I want to camp, I want to have a place I can go outside and relax, because that's part of the whole camping thing.
Well, sure it is.
Going outside and relax. So what do we got up here to talk about?
We got a nice power awning with the LED lights integrated into it, which is also really nice. Sitting out here in the evening times, you don't have to have your porch light on if you don't want, attracting bugs. You can turn on that LED light, for example. Nice blue glow, just kind of gives you a nice ambiance, if you will, to hang out underneath. Got an outside TV here as well, too. Watch your race on it. News in the morning, whatever you want to do. And if didn't want to watch the TV, you've also got speakers out here. The great thing about these speakers is they're tied in with a Bluetooth radio in our garage. So whether it be a radio station, your Pandora, your iTunes, whatever it is, you can Bluetooth your phone to it and actually sit out here under the awning, listen to your favorite music, adjust the volume, whatever you want to do with it.
So I got the iPad, I come out here, I'm connected to the Bluetooth radio. I simply just go in, I'm connected, over the web, maybe to, XM radio.
Sure.
I can take and I can use the volume buttons on my tablet here, turn it up or down.
Your tablet will become a remote control there, and you can do all of it right there. You don't have to worry about going in the house to change anything. So you have complete control out here under the awning at that point.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to be in trouble because I'm going to be fighting my daughters to find out who's going to be able to listen to this outside and whose music is.
I hear you, I would be too.
All right, so as we kind of make our way back here, we've talked about how we've got the big foundation. Well, with the foundation, I think that gives us a decent amount of storage outside of just the garage area, doesn't it?
It does. You have large storage area here to put some extra things in, some chairs, rugs, whatever you want to put in down here. Nice big storage. Something you don't typically see in a class motorhome, but because of that foundation, at Thor Motor Coach, we're able to offer this to you and give you that storage space. Another great feature about this, John, is it's made of a rotocast material. We don't use any kind of carpets that are going to mold or mildew or anything like that. We don't use any metals that are going to rust. This stuff will stay nice and clean. It's real easy to clean out, and it's a very, very durable material.
Well, I like it because the fact that it's rotocast and it's got these ribs in it, even if something spills in here or something drips in here, it looks like all my stuff will actually be above it, so that way it's not getting soaked. And then when I get to wherever I'm going, I can just take some paper towels or a rag and just kind of wipe it out.
Exactly.
And nothing of mine got ruined on the way to my destination.
Exactly, and very easy clean, as you said.
All right, now JR, now we've talked a little bit about the outside here, but I think what everybody's really wanting to see is the garage area. Now, this garage area, like we said, can do anything, but as we make our way around to the back of the coach, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to get my stuff up there because it doesn't look like the ramp goes to the ground.
Well, we can talk about that. We'll show you how to do it.
Let's go take a look. All right, so JR, I think this is pretty much what this whole coach is about, is how do we entertain, how do we have fun, and what can we do back here in the back? So,
exactly, and you notice first thing when you walk up, not only do you have obviously the access of the garage to haul everything we've talked about, but once you're there and once it's loaded or unloaded, you have this amazing patio feature with these railings that come up that, again, it gives you more versatility, whether it be backing it up over a river and fishing, or having the dogs run around out here to get fresh air but be contained, or just tailgating. There's just so many different avenues that you can go down with this patio option.
So what you're telling me is that this actually folds up, and so this goes down to the ground, and this makes my ramp.
It does.
And then when I'm finished with loading or unloading, then I put this in this position. It's got some cables that hold it up, and I can pretty much put my whole family out there, 4 or 5 people, right?
You can actually probably put more than that if you wanted to. It's rated at 1,800 pounds in this position here, and that's actually going to be a rating on the cable itself. The door will hold more than that, but yes, you're exactly right. All of this stuff will fold out of the way.
Okay.
These cables detach. This ramp will go down to the ground, and that is how you'll get all your toys in or out, or your equipment, barbecue grills, rafts, whatever you want to take with you.
All right, so now I'm back here. I'm enjoying myself on the patio, and I like the fact that we've integrated this awning because now I get some, some shield from the elements on the outside.
Well, sure, definitely. If you want to be up off the campground and sitting back here in a lounge chair or something and just enjoying the scenery, you can, again, have an awning over you to protect you from the sun, give you a little bit of shade, whatever you want to do.
All right, and it looks like our lighting here must be dual purpose. We can use it when we're backing up maybe at night,
sure,
but then
definitely.
also, just to light up the patio area.
Exactly. You've got the 2 LED lights on both sides of the backup camera there, like you said, either as backup lights or as docking lights. Light up the patio, whatever you want to use them for.
And there's a great new option that we're bringing into this product. We're actually going to be introducing a bug screen in the not too distant future. So now you'll be able to close off your whole entire garage area with this bug screen, and it opens in the middle. So now you have plenty of access to still get in and out. And with its magnetic enclosures, now you don't have to worry about trying to get up there and stand on a ladder to snap it at the top.
Oh, that'd be great.
So, hey, we've talked about the garage. I think everybody's probably pretty primed right now for what comes on the rest of the coach. Let's move around to the other side and just take a look at some of the things we have to offer from a utility standpoint.
Sounds great.
Campers, I think, when they're looking at a coach like this, they want to make sure it's still all self-contained. So if I'm thinking self-contained, explain to me what that means.
Well, the great thing about self-contained is basically you can go out anywhere you want to and have everything you need with you. And when I say that, whether it be power, water, whatever the case may be, you can literally go in the middle of a desert and be fully operational. This coach is equipped with a 4,000 watt generator.
Okay.
Supplies all the power you need to run all your appliances you need by all means. Not only that, though, you also have a 1,000 watt inverter in this coach, so if you didn't want to fire up the generator, you can still run a couple outlets, a few TVs, whatever you wanted to do, some 12 volt lights, of course, and not have to worry about firing up the generator.
All right, and this is 30 amp service, correct?
30 amp service, that is correct.
All right, so I'll be able to go quite a few places and be able to find power, especially if I'm going to the campground or maybe even national parks.
Yes, definitely. And something else I'd like to point out while we're in this compartment talking about going to campgrounds, something that we offer on our coaches here that not everybody does is we also incorporate an auto transfer switch. Some customers may not be familiar with what that is, but the easiest way to explain it is if you are in that campground, for example, at night and a storm comes through and you lose power to the pole. Well, rather than have to come out, unplug from the pole, and plug back into yourself, all you've got to do is get up, go to your interior coach there where the generator switch is, and fire up the generator. That auto transfer switch will automatically allow that power to come through the house, and you will never have to get outside the coach in that storm.
So you mean to tell me that if I don't have an auto transfer switch, I have to take my plug here, and I actually have to go unplug it from the pole on the outside and plug it into my generator?
In that storm that we're talking about that knocked out the power, yes.
Seriously, wasn't it like a 1970s when we introduced automatic transfer switches?
It was, but you'd be surprised how many people still are not incorporating them into their motorhomes.
All right, well, here at Thor Motor Coach, we've got it on every one of our motorhomes, so it's nothing to worry about.
Everything we build.
JR, up here in the cockpit area, I know the thing about Class C's that makes people happy is it feels more like an SUV up front because it's got a more of a truck slash van chassis on it. So as I'm looking around the dash here, just kind of run me through some of the basic things I'm going to see.
Well, sure. Like you said already, it's a very familiar dash system. It's just like any other Ford truck, Ford van out there that everybody's familiar with. There are a lot of features, though, that come along with this coach. For example, over here, I have the heated mirrors with the cameras in both sides.
Oh, we have mirrors that have cameras in them?
We have mirrors with cameras in them. Not only are they electric and heated, we have got cameras integrated into them as well, too. So anytime you hit your turn signal, whether it be left or right, it'll actually display in the monitor here on the radio and show you down both sides of the coach. From that point, again, you've got your basic controls that everybody's used to, your heat and air and everything else. But something I'd like to point out that is incorporated with the radio as well, too, are these two plugs right here.
Okay.
You've got your USB charger plug, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can use that to get stuff into the radio, charge your phone, that kind of stuff. But the HDMI port's the one that's really been added this year that's added a lot of features for us.
Sure.
By using that HDMI port, you actually can get your Google Maps and everything on your phone to mirror to this radio. So rather than doing a GPS system that's going to be outdated before the customer even purchases it, that they have to worry about updating continuously, your smartphone is always updating. Google Maps is always updating. So now you have a continually updated GPS system mirrored right onto your radio through that HDMI port.
Well, and I think the nice thing too is that with that, because you're mirroring what's on your phone screen, your passenger could be over here actually doing the programming.
Sure.
So now you're not taking your attention off of driving, and you're not doing the thing. I mean, let's face it, hands-free is just about a requirement anywhere you go today.
Yes.
And so between the radio being Bluetooth with the mirror function, now you can make hands-free telephone calls, you can get your mapping, and of course with the mapping, whether it's Google Maps or Apple Maps, now you're getting that real-time traffic update also.
Right.
And then you have, of course, the option where you can download Sirius XM, or you can download Pandora or Slacker radio. Use it through the cellular device that you're carrying already, and now you get your album art and everything else. And it's more like a true built-in multimedia function than it is just a dash radio. So, as we kind of move our way out of the cockpit, kind of a thing here, the pretty comfortable seats here. These aren't the typical Ford, factory seats. It looks to me like we've recovered these in a leatherette material, which matches the rest of the coach, so we kind of get that decor feel going all the way through. And of course, we haven't really talked about it yet, but all of our motorhomes are very pet friendly.
Very pet friendly, like you said, with the leatherette furniture throughout the entire coach. That makes it, along with the linoleum, makes it completely pet friendly.
Yeah, so I don't see any carpet in the whole interior of this motorhome.
None in the cockpit, none in the coach, none nowhere.
So we don't have to worry about, we go in, we fill up with fuel, all of a sudden there's some fuel on the ground, somebody left their gum on the ground, now we don't come back in here and get it all matted into our carpet.
Exactly, don't have to worry about it at all.
All right, so what we need to do? We need to go back and take a look at this living space and see exactly what I'm going to enjoy once I get to the campground.
Let's go.
Okay? JR, I'm taking a look, and I'll tell you what, I think that sofa has called your name.
It really has, John. This nice residential sofa here that doubles also as a queen sleeper bed. Gives you a second queen bed up here in the front of the coach. You've got the front overhead queen bed, and you've also got another bed in the garage that we'll talk about when we get there.
All right, so now I'm going to own a motorhome, and of course I want the thing to look good, and it really looks like we put a lot of time and effort into some of the decor features inside the living room here.
We really have, as you pointed out again, the valances that are pointed, your roller shades here that come down for all the windows, LED lighting throughout the entire coach. You know, we've really paid a lot of attention to detail and really spiffed up the insides of these units.
And there's a couple different decor packages, correct?
There are different decor packages.
And a couple different wood choices also.
2 different wood choices as well.
All right, so there's really, as we say here at Thor Motor Coach, we build motorhomes that are made to fit. It really does look like you can spec this out to fit your lifestyle.
You really can. Between all those different choices, there should be a combination that definitely fits what you're looking for.
All right, so we saw up here in the cockpit, we saw exactly what we get as far as the dash radio goes, but I think there's a pretty cool feature we have in the living room that kind of helps you take technology on the road and let's say keep it charged.
Well, sure. There's actually a power docking station above our entry door there with 2 USB ports for your iPads, cell phones, whatever electronics you need to charge while going down the road as well too. Nice compartment right next to them to put them in, so you don't have to worry about them dangling and hanging in midair. Very convenient.
And because we talked earlier, this is fully self-contained. Obviously, we have to have a kitchen that is big enough to support whatever we're going to be doing when we're out on the road.
You're right, John. There's a lot of area in this kitchen. Let me show you here. Just coming around and looking here, first thing you notice is a nice big double sink with a high-rise faucet. It gives you plenty of room to do all your pots and pans and dishes in without having to worry about running into that faucet. Also, I like to point out big, deep cupboards. Plenty of room for your dishes. You know, a lot of folks will give you shallow cupboards. You go to put a full-size plate in there and it doesn't fit. All of our cabinets here are big enough to accommodate a full-size plate. Got a convection microwave here, as well as a 3-burner stove here as well too. So plenty of features to do all the cooking you want to on the road as well too.
And it looks like we got plenty of storage down in the kitchen base. So if you want to bring your, your silverware or anything like
Sure.
that, you've got plenty of places you can put it.
You do all full ball bearing drawer extension glides here. Nice big deep drawers come all the way out. Big areas under here under the sink. And of course, without having the oven and having a convection microwave, it gives you a nice big drawer here under that cooktop as well too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd sure like to see a little bit more area if I want to take all my canned goods or spices or anything. You got anything to help me out with
You
that?
know we do. Right here next to the refrigerator is a nice big pull-out pantry.
Wow, that thing is huge.
Tons of room for all your canned goods.
And then, of course, we've got our typical RV refrigerator, correct?
You do. Runs off gas and electric both. So again, if you're in a dry camping situation, you can run it off propane, not have to worry about using the battery power or anything like that. Or you can run it on electricity, of course, as well too if you're plugged into the park.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about on the outside, but you've got a 13,500 BTU air conditioner in here.
13.5 air conditioner in the living room here, and then we also give you an independent 5,000 BTU in the garage as well too, which we'll see when we get there.
And I really like around this coach, you've got it spec'd out where you've got the vent in the kitchen, so now you can actually, if you burn something in the kitchen, you can pull
Sure.
some of the fumes out.
Right where it should be, right above where the cooking's going to be, exactly. Nice centrally located.
All right, well, now that we've seen the living room and everything we can do here, let's move back to that garage area and show people what this coach was made for.
Sounds good. Now hold on, John. We can't get ahead of ourselves and go to the garage here. We're about to bypass a very important part of this motorhome.
Okay.
Your control center here, so to speak. In the center of the coach here, you've got your controls for your jacks, fully automatic jacks all the way around this coach. They're all self-leveling. Not only can you control them here, but right next to this, you have what we call our rapid camp remote system. This remote control here really makes camping a lot easier. You can control your lights, your jacks, your awning, your slide outs.
I think you can even turn the generator on and off.
You can even turn the generator on and off.
Okay.
You can basically do all the important functions of setting up this coach all by remote control. Very, very handy feature to have. Right down below that here, you've got your monitoring panels.
Okay.
This here will show you all your levels of your tanks and your batteries and your propane as well too. So that at a push of a button, you can see what all your levels are.
Okay.
Of course, all your buttons down here for your water heater, for your tank heaters as well too. Something we didn't discuss yet. This coach has tank heaters on it. So if you get into that colder climate situation, you can flip your tank heaters on and keep your tanks from freezing.
So we're really talking about 4 seasons you can use this motorhome.
4 seasons within reason.
All right, 4 seasons within reason. Perfect. All right. So now, JR, have we made it to the point where we can go look at this garage?
At this point, I think we have.
All right, let's go back and take a look.
All right.
JR, we're here. We're finally to the point that I want to see the garage. Now, tell me all about what I'm going to see back here.
All right. Well, let's start here with the entertainment section first. You've got a 32-inch TV here in the garage.
Okay.
So like we talked about before, with the garage being very versatile, you've got double couches that fold into a bed as well too. You've got an entertainment system. This can actually be a bedroom if you wanted it to be,
Sure.
or a hangout for the kids or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be just to the garage. Above the TV here, we've also got that Bluetooth radio we talked about. So you've got your Bluetooth radio, you've got a radio back here, you've got a TV back here. But not only that, you've still got to keep it as a garage. So if you've got your toys in here, we also give you a nice cool jump station right here as well too, with positive and negative hooked up to our battery. So if your
Oh.
motorcycles or something are back here and they are dead, you can actually jump them straight off the coach here to get them out of the garage.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I see a couple light switches on there. So I know one's got to control my ceiling lights here, but what's the other one do?
The other one controls your spotlights on the rear of the coach that we talked about when we were out there.
All right, so docking lights or just, patio party lights are all right there. And then look what I got over here.
Yep, you've got a little tool chest over there, if you will, a place to keep your paper towels, oils, anything you want. A nice little storage area for the garage here.
Well, and it's nice as the aluminum and not, decor panel or something like that. So if I spill something, it looks like it's going to be pretty much self-contained and it's not going to have to leak into the garage.
Exactly.
So, we've got our sofas back here, which you talked about. I see that you can actually take and flip this down. It looks like we got a couple of cup holders that are actually inside of there, so I can enjoy a beverage out here.
Yeah, if you're using this as tailgating like we talked about before, you've got that same setup again here on this side of the coach. So 4 people very easily, very comfortable with cup holders on both sides.
And we talked earlier about the bug screen, and I think that bug screen would be great because when that comes across and closes this off, now you truly do have a little screened-in patio back here.
Exactly. So if it is raining outside or something of that nature, you can hang out inside the coach and still enjoy nature.
All right, well, I also see down here on the floor, I see some tie-down rings, which I'm assuming that when I have toys and I want to bring them with me, now I got a place I can actually make sure they're secure.
Exactly. In the 9-foot garage back here, you have a 1,500-pound carrying capacity. You've got your tie-downs for your motorcycles or four-wheelers or whatever you want to bring back here as well, too. So, of course, it is always a toy hauler at the end of the day.
Sure. Well, and I do like, too, as we talked about, the air conditioner over here. I get a separate air conditioner back here, so if I want to turn this thing into a meat locker,
that's right.
My wife and kids can be up front, and they can be 80 degrees up there the way they like it, and I can be back here instead of sweating to death. I can turn it down.
Back here. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the perfect for guys like us kind of deal, isn't it?
Perfect.
All right. Well, also, I'm sure this is a big selling feature, too, for those people that maybe have a dog grooming or a dog kennel that they bring in their Outlaw, so now they can be sure that the dogs are kept nice and cool, especially if they're on the show circuit, and that they don't have to worry about them being up in their living room area.
Exactly. Or we've got a lot of clientele that use these as mobile offices as well too, so they can keep this area nice and cool and have it secluded from the rest of the coach.
Yeah, and it still feels though like it's part of the motorhome. It doesn't feel like it's a sterile garage type area.
Not at all. We do the same appointments as far as your decor panels. We've got the same wood that you've got in the front of the coach with big storage areas, same decor balances on the windows. So you're right, it feels just like the home does up front.
I think this is great. JR, it's been a fantastic talking to you today. I love what we're doing here with the Outlaw product, and I can't wait to see it out on dealers' lots and see what customers have to tell us.
Thanks, I've enjoyed it.
All right, thank you.
All of our motorhomes are engineered using the best combination of aluminum, steel, and fiberglass. The walls and roof are constructed from aluminum, which provides a strong yet lightweight skeleton to support the overall house of the motorhome. Our floors are built from steel. The heavier steel construction helps lower the overall center of gravity of the motorhome, while providing an excellent platform to help insulate the interior of the RV from road noise. The insulation within the walls, roof, and floor is low-density polystyrene foam. The insulation is form-fitted to all structural areas to provide protection from the exterior elements. The sidewalls are finished in fiberglass. Large flat sheets or rolls of fiberglass are laid upon a lamination table to be prepped and bonded to the aluminum structure. A large glue applicator runs beads of adhesive every inch down the length of the structure to ensure 100% coverage. Now the lamination process takes place. The entire walls, roof, and floor are inserted into an individual lamination bed where air is removed and pressure is applied, causing the adhesive in the walls to flash, also known as vacuum bonding. This flashing permanently bonds all the layers together, providing an optimal structure to build a motorhome. With the lamination process complete, a final routing of all cutouts in the structure is performed. All openings in the walls and roof are framed in aluminum, while the floor is all framed in steel. This extra step ensures the openings are always sized correctly, so items like windows, vents, and entry doors will fit each and every time.